This is absolutely disgusting. WWE has crossed a line that should never be crossed, and I am furious about what they've done to the USO family storyline. What you're about to hear is going to make your blood boil, and I guarantee you'll be commenting your outrage by the end of this video. WWE has decided to write the most heartbreaking, controversial, and downright insulting storyline imaginable. They've written Jimmy Uso out of WWE programming through a fictional tragic accident storyline, leaving Jey Uso to carry on alone while mourning his deceased brother on live television. This isn't just bad storytelling, this is WWE exploiting real family bonds for cheap emotional manipulation, and it's absolutely sickening. Last Friday night on SmackDown, WWE aired what might be the most tone-deaf, emotionally manipulative segment in wrestling history. They had Jey Uso come out to the ring, tears streaming down his face, holding a microphone with shaking hands, talking about how his twin brother Jimmy had passed away in a car accident during their time off from television. Can you believe this? WWE actually thought it was a good idea to have a real-life brother pretend his actual twin brother was dead for a storyline. The absolute disrespect to family, to the fans, and to basic human decency is beyond comprehension. Jey stood there in that ring, his voice breaking, telling the WWE Universe that Jimmy was gone forever, that the Usos would never team again, and that he didn't know how to continue without his other half. The crowd was genuinely crying, fans were posting heartbroken messages on social media, and WWE was sitting backstage knowing it was all fake. This isn't just bad creative, this is morally bankrupt storytelling that exploits the deepest human emotions for entertainment. Wrestling fans invest emotionally in these characters and storylines because we care about the people behind them. When WWE decides to fake someone's death, they're not just telling a story, they're traumatizing their audience. Think about all the fans who have lost siblings, parents, or children. Imagine watching Jey Uso break down crying about losing Jimmy and feeling that pain all over again, only to find out later it's all fake. That's not entertainment, that's emotional abuse of your fanbase. And what about the Uso family themselves? Do you think their parents, their children, their extended family members enjoy watching one son pretend the other is dead? WWE has turned a real family's love and bond into a cheap storyline device, and it's absolutely unforgivable. But it gets worse, so much worse. WWE didn't just have Jey announce Jimmy's fictional death and move on. No, they decided to milk this fake tragedy for every drop of emotion they could squeeze out. They had video packages showing memories of the Usos throughout their career, with sad music and black and white filters making it look like a real memorial tribute. They showed highlights of their championship runs, their battles with the New Day, their time in the Bloodline, all presented like Jimmy was actually gone. Then they brought out other WWE superstars to offer their condolences to Jey. Roman Reigns came out and hugged his cousin, talking about how Jimmy was the heart of the family, and how they would honor his memory. Solo Sikoa stood there with tears in his eyes, saying Jimmy was a warrior who died too young. WWE even had the audacity to create a fake tribute graphic that they displayed on the arena screens, with Jimmy's photo and the years, 1985 to 2024, underneath. They literally put a death date on a living person for a storyline. How is that not completely insane? Social media immediately exploded with confusion and outrage. Fans who knew this was a storyline were furious about the tasteless concept, while fans who weren't sure what was real were posting genuine condolences and grief. WWE created chaos and emotional trauma for their entire fanbase. Twitter was flooded with angry tweets demanding WWE apologize and scrap this storyline immediately. Wrestling journalists were scrambling to clarify that Jimmy Uso was alive and well, having to fact-check WWE's own fictional content because it was so realistic that people believed it. Fan forums erupted with thousands of posts expressing disgust and disappointment. Longtime WWE viewers were saying they were done with the company forever. Parents were upset that their children were crying over something that wasn't even real. WWE managed to anger every segment of their audience with one storyline. The hashtag Respect the Usos started trending worldwide, with fans demanding WWE show basic human decency and stop exploiting family relationships for storylines. But did WWE listen? Of course not. When the backlash reached a fever pitch, WWE's response was somehow even more insulting than the original storyline. They released a statement saying they were exploring emotional storytelling that pushes creative boundaries, and that fans should appreciate the artistic merit of complex narratives. Artistic merit? They literally had a brother pretend his twin was dead, traumatized their entire fanbase, and then called it art. The arrogance and complete disconnect from reality is staggering. WWE executives were reportedly surprised by the negative reaction, showing just how out of touch they are with their own audience. They thought fans would appreciate sophisticated storytelling, without realizing they were asking people to watch genuine emotional trauma for entertainment. Stephanie McMahon even had the nerve to tweet about how WWE has always pushed boundaries in storytelling, completely missing the point that there's a difference between pushing creative boundaries and exploiting real human relationships for fake drama. This storyline isn't just offensive, it's destroying the legacy that Jimmy and Jey Uso have built over their incredible careers. The Usos are one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history, with multiple championship reigns and classic matches that will be remembered forever. But now, instead of celebrating their achievements, WWE is making their story about fake death and manufactured tragedy. Jimmy Uso has given everything to WWE for over a decade. He's entertained millions of fans, put his body on the line night after night, and built a reputation as one of the most reliable and talented performers in the company. And this is how WWE repays him. By writing him out of storylines through a fake death. Jey Uso is being forced to perform this emotional trauma night after night, pretending his brother is gone and carrying that weight for the sake of a storyline that nobody wanted or asked for. Can you imagine the psychological toll that takes? WWE is asking him to repeatedly relive the worst possible scenario for the sake of television ratings. This storyline sets a horrifying precedent for WWE's future creative direction. If they're willing to fake someone's death for a storyline, what's next? Are they going to have wrestlers pretend their children died? Are they going to fake divorces, terminal illnesses, or other real-life tragedies? WWE has officially crossed the line from sports entertainment into exploitative reality television, and it's disgusting. They're no longer content with wrestling storylines, they want to manipulate real emotions about real tragedies for fake entertainment. This also sends a terrible message to other wrestling companies. If WWE can get away with faking someone's death for a storyline, what's stopping other promotions from doing the same thing? We could be looking at an industry-wide race to the bottom in terms of taste and decency. This fake death storyline is also destroying other ongoing narratives in WWE. The Bloodline story, which has been one of the best storylines in recent memory, is now overshadowed by this tasteless tragedy angle. Instead of focusing on family loyalty, power struggles, and championship pursuits, we're stuck with fake grief and manufactured trauma. Roman Reigns' character development is being hijacked to service this death storyline. Instead of evolving as the tribal chief or pursuing new championship opportunities, he's reduced to playing grief counselor to his mourning cousin. It's a waste of one of WWE's biggest stars. Solo Sikoa, who was building momentum as a rising star in the Bloodline, is now just another person offering condolences and talking about memories. His character progression has been completely derailed to service this fake tragedy. Other wrestling promotions have been notably silent about WWE's controversial storyline, but industry insiders are reportedly appalled by the decision. Former WWE writers have spoken anonymously about how they would never have approved such a tasteless concept. Wrestling legends like Mick Foley and Stone Cold Steve Austin, who are usually supportive of WWE's creative choices, have been conspicuously quiet about this storyline. Their silence speaks volumes about how even WWE loyalists can't defend this decision. Independent wrestling promotions are actually using this controversy to their advantage, promoting their shows with messages about real storytelling that respects wrestlers and fans. WWE's fake death storyline is driving fans toward competitors who promise more authentic entertainment. WWE needs to immediately scrap this entire storyline and issue a public apology to fans, to the USO family, and to everyone who was emotionally manipulated by this fake tragedy. They need to bring Jimmy Uso back to television, explain that the death was just a storyline, and promise never to exploit real family relationships again. There also needs to be accountability within WWE's creative team. Whoever approved this storyline should be removed from their position immediately. You can't let people who think faking someone's death is good entertainment continue making creative decisions. WWE also owes their fanbase a genuine explanation for why they thought this was acceptable. Not corporate speak about artistic merit and boundary-pushing creativity, but a real acknowledgement that they made a terrible mistake and understand why fans are furious. Even if WWE ends this storyline tomorrow, the damage is already done. They've shown their true colors when it comes to exploiting real relationships for fake drama. They've demonstrated that no family bond is sacred if it can generate television content. Fan trust in WWE storytelling is permanently damaged. How can anyone invest emotionally in WWE storylines knowing that the company is willing to fake deaths, exploit families, and traumatize audiences for ratings? This controversy will follow WWE for years. The USO family themselves will never be able to escape this storyline. Every future appearance by Jimmy or Jey will be overshadowed by memories of this fake death angle. WWE has permanently tainted their legacy with this tasteless decision. This is exactly why channels like WrestlingNewsCC exist, to call out WWE when they cross lines that should never be crossed. If we stay silent about this disgusting storyline, we're enabling WWE to continue exploiting real families for fake entertainment. Every wrestling fan needs to make their voice heard about this controversy. We need to flood social media with criticism, contact WWE sponsors, and make it clear that faking someone's death is not acceptable entertainment. Our silence would be complicity in this emotional manipulation. We also need to support the USO family during this difficult time. They're being asked to perform trauma for our entertainment, and the least we can do is let them know that real fans see through WWE's manipulation and support them as human beings, not just characters. WWE's decision to create a fake death storyline involving Jimmy Uso is the most tasteless, exploitative, and downright disgusting creative decision in recent memory. It crosses every line of human decency and shows complete disrespect for wrestlers, families, and fans. This storyline needs to end immediately, the people responsible need to be held accountable, and WWE needs to promise that they will never exploit real family relationships again. Anything less is a betrayal of everyone who invests their time, money, and emotions into WWE programming. I am absolutely furious about this storyline, and you should be too. Let me know in the comments how disgusted you are with WWE's decision, share this video with every wrestling fan you know, and make sure WWE hears that this kind of exploitation is completely unacceptable. The wrestling community deserves better than fake deaths and manufactured trauma. We deserve storytelling that respects the wrestlers, the families, and the fans who make this industry possible. WWE has failed all of us with this storyline, and they need to be held accountable. This is WrestlingNewsCC, and I will never stop fighting for the respect and dignity that wrestling fans deserve. Hit that subscribe button if you want more honest coverage of WWE's controversial decisions, and remember, we have the power to demand better entertainment. If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the WrestlingNewsCC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.